So hello to everyone out there with our Intimate Conversations series. Another beautiful guest has come in today. And so I would like to introduce you all to Lamanda Brown. Welcome, Lamanda.
Hi, Randy, how are you?
I'm good, good. And really excited to have a chat with you and your angel work and get into the conversation around what you're doing. But first of all, Lamanda, I'll just introduce you and read your bio. So Lamanda is a transformational mind, body and soul coach, angel alchemist and intuitive, and works with the angelic realm to bring forth personal life transformations for people all around the world. She brings a range of skills working holistically for personal transformations using Neuro Linguistic Programming, multi-brain integration techniques, life coaching. She also offers angel readings, soul readings, and angel alchemy healing. Divinely guided, Lamanda gets to the heart and soul of the matter very quickly to help people transform from within, self-awakenings for greater success, happiness, well-being, and divine inspired living. Love that, Lamanda. And we've had a few little encounters, both of us together, and it's been lovely, really getting to know you, or meeting you anyway. And this for me will be something that, I'll be able to really get to know you a little bit more. So how did it all begin for you? Like, what was your childhood like? Obviously, you were born in the UK, is that correct?
Yeah, I was born in London in the UK, and I was one of the kids that were like really highly sensitive, and didn't really feel I fitted in with my family. So I was a little bit different to my
Mm.
family. Childhood was difficult. I think a lot of us who sort of are kind of in the realm of what we're doing, um, have gone through difficulties in earlier life and stuff.
Mm.
So childhood was pretty difficult and pretty dysfunctional. There was lots of things going on, that kind of were, in a way, if I was going to look at it positively, which is I have come to that point, is really shaped me to be who I am by learning how not to be, if you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean.
Yes.
Because you're involved as a kid in situations and circumstances that aren't necessarily that positive, and you know it and you feel it, and you process it as much as you possibly can as a kid, in your own
Mm.
way. And
Mm.
often as a children, we often may blame ourselves as well. So we go through certain things and think it's our fault and things like that if we get abused or whatever.
Yep. Yep.
So there was a lot of stuff going on, and I learned fairly early on that I didn't want to be in any way having any of those kind of behaviours, towards anybody else. I really woke up to that it wasn't how to be really as a nice, as a decent person, for
Mm.
lots of things that went on. I was always really intuitive. I didn't really know what that was, of course, but I just felt really connected, and I tended to know things without knowing how I knew. And that was
Yes.
all very weird to my family because they were not on that level at all. I was born in the
Ah.
60s, but they were, very in that material plane of just this is what it is. No belief systems. It was, just doing their best with how they were.
Yes. Yeah.
So I was definitely very weird. I had lots of different interests. I was very interested in the paranormal. I mean, I challenged my family a lot as a
Yeah.
kid. Um, and I was just very drawn to do something quite different to any of my close family. I always sort of challenged them where I didn't go down the road they wanted to go down. I would do something different, and that, yeah, that was their challenge to deal with. But it was really part of me growing up to really trust my own truth inside and
Mm.
trust what was right for me and stuff. And it kind of led me to traveling and experiencing different cultures. And I really got into yoga.
Yeah.
And that was a real lifesaver, because that really helped me rebalance me, and it tuned me into my energy field. And, it
Mm.
was an amazing journey. And it kind of reawakened me to the sort of other side of life, where I was like feeling energies, picking up on guidance and trusting it, rather than thinking, oh, that's just a bit woo, I can't say anything to anyone, and kept it
Yes.
to myself. I was like, okay, no, I can actually say this and just trust, like, okay, like, just picking up on something, I'm just going to say it, and just accept how it was taken.
Mm.
So that yoga journey was an amazing experience for me, in a way, because it was very connected to learning about the energy system, the chakra system, the spiritual side
Yeah.
to sort of ourselves. But I didn't want to stick to. I wasn't going to be like a follower, or a devotee of any kind of guru or
Yes.
anything like that. It was kind of often linked around that arena of.
Yes.
And I was actually part of a yoga school that did have a guru, and I trained to be a yoga teacher there. But I never was going to be a follower.
Yeah.
I was just there purely to learn what I needed to learn. That actually really was to help me at first, not to be a teacher, but to help me.
Yeah.
And then I did do some yoga teaching and have taught yoga quite for years. But then I think what was interesting, when I first came to New Zealand, I came over in 2004. I was a real yoga kind of junkie, and I kind of thought I might come here and teach yoga. But what was interesting was that I kind of got introduced to another world. I think coming from England to New Zealand again was another awakening, in a way, like opened me out to something, because I kind of met different people that I hadn't met in England, and they
Mm-hmm.
kind of I got introduced to sort of like support, sort of more spiritual, different types of spiritual practices and things, and
Yeah.
different ways of living life. And I encountered some really beautiful souls, like healers and guides, that opened me out, and
Mm.
I embraced it.
Yeah.
And I kind of got really connected to the angelic realm, and that was purely coincidental. But I realized that I'd had these guides all my life, and that was like they were the ones I was always speaking to, or speaking to me and helping me. And it just felt this pure divine love energy. And I'd have these really extreme moments in my childhood where I'd kind of be on my own, and then I'd have this really strange feeling of this presence of pure love around me.
Yeah.
And my perception was different, and I just felt really connected to life. And it was like the love energy. And
Mm.
so, like, when I got like involved with other people, and it was like, aha, okay, so that was what that was about then. And I was like, okay, I'm going to open my mind to this, and started working with opening myself up again in a deeper way with working with the guides. And again, it was really for me initially. Like, I didn't have any sort of aspirations to help others. It
Right.
was
Yeah.
really like
Yeah.
what I needed, because I felt broken at times, like, from
Mm.
what I think. And they led me to lots of really interesting experiences to help heal what I needed to heal. But then
Mm.
they gave me these insights. Was, you're here to help others. This is part of your journey, because you've got so many experiences that you can really relate to people that have also been in difficult times. And so
Yeah.
that your healing experience, like your experience of healing yourself at certain aspects, and then the true experiences of life, can put you in a place of really being able to hold space for others. And I did
Mm.
start doing a few readings, and it kind of just evolved into doing readings for free, and then getting led
Yeah.
into like synchronistic experiences of stepping into training, and I need to do that, and I don't know why I need to do it, but I feel I need to do that, and then open me out again. So I ended up stepped onto a sort of just like curiosity of going down paths to learn something, to experience it,
Mm.
and seeing what it was going to give to me to help me, but then maybe it could help others.
Yeah.
And here I am, like, working in a kind of, so like now they're I don't rely on them for my own divine wisdom. They have actually helped me to awaken to my true self.
Yes.
And I think my work with them is to help others do that now,
Yeah.
because they're guides, but we actually have that divinity within us.
Yes.
We
Yes.
are as wise as they are. And they actually are just like reminders of that. And that's what I'd learned. They were always constantly reminding
Yeah.
me of a better way. They bring in sort of spiritual kind of solutions to problems in life. And so I could see a bigger picture. I could connect dots. I could not foresee the future, but I could see where things could lead,
Yes.
because like certain patterns of behavior set off certain
Yeah.
things. And that's useful, because then you become very self-conscious and you start to be very mindful of what you're doing in the moment.
You
That
do.
can impact your life
Yeah.
going forward. And so you become like, oh, I could really blow up, be more the peace bringer,
Yes.
and not create more fire with fire, if you know what I mean.
I do. Yeah.
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 So this been amazing for me. And that they come in at times when they're needed, and I can tune into them.
Mm.
But my work, like, I don't always, like, when people come to me, I'm not always like in that zone, but they will just pop in and say, remind me about something, so
Yes.
that's useful.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Mm.
And there's
Yeah.
just so much about them that, yeah. Yeah, I just feel there's so much about the energy of them, because I see them as light. I don't see them like angels with wings.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
depicted. I don't really see them as that. I just see them as light beings,
Yeah.
filled like pure divine love, that have these, which, if we're looking in this material world, are archetypal kind of entities that bring in virtuous energies that all of us have. So it's almost like we've all got an angel within. And if
Yes.
we can tune into that energy, and it's the only way I can describe it, which is the soul,
Mm.
and live from that place, life would transform. And it does, because I transform my own life like that.
Yeah.
But life does transform,
Mm.
and
Does.
you can just handle this reality where we are now in a
Mm.
much more peaceful way. And I think right now, and after what we've all been through,
Yeah.
and in the shifting, the awakenings, embodying what it is we want to create for ourselves going forward, and thinking about those qualities that the
Mm.
angelic realm can offer and remind us about, to emanate out into our world, to
Yeah. Beautiful.
lift us up, you
Yes.
know awaken us, so that we are all ascending. But
Yes.
it's like that, okay, I'm going to choose to be in that higher ascending mode
Mm.
when you kind of have a situation, and like, it's testing.
Yep. It is. Yes, it is.
Seems
Mm.
testing.
Yeah.
um it is. And I've had a fair share of that this year. It's been a very interesting year this year of that.
Has been.
um
Yeah.
yeah, and I know a lot of other people have felt quite tested. It's not really the right word, but it shifted us.
It has shifted us.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And it has been very testing, and I think it's just going to continue to be for a while, but
Yeah.
a while yet. But do you find, like, are they actually the guardian angels?
Yeah, we do have our own angels. So we've got our own set of angels. As this is my belief system, and I'm not going
Yeah.
to impart it on anybody else, because
Yeah.
it's not. That's part of what we are. Should be open
Mm.
to other people's beliefs. So my belief system and how I feel and my experiences of it is, we do have our own set of guardian angels and spirit guides.
Yeah.
We also have animal guides as well. So there's animals that are very much linked to us. And it's almost like a support network. That's the only way I can describe it, which is not
Yeah.
in this realm of material.
Yes.
And they're always with us. They're always with us. And so, um, that in itself is like, for me, that's been very comforting,
Mm.
in a way where it's helped me to deal with certain life situations where I feel I'm not entirely alone, where I have been let down by,
Yes. Yeah.
let's say, people in my life, and it's like externally or outwardly, I'm all on my own with this.
Yeah.
And so feeling that sense of that I've got this support network, and what I feel for other people as well, you don't have to fall down into that pit and
No.
feel so despairing.
Yes.
And so then when you take time to be still with whatever's going on and tune into yourself, it's almost like they like act as a gate between, high divine guidance to really help you in the situation, and often wisdom and information.
Mm-hmm.
They can act like a gateway at times, where you can either feel what it is. You may hear things in your head, or you may see visions in your mind about a way forward.
Yeah.
It's often like they bring in like a solution to problems, but they
Yeah.
also offer this sense of real encouragement, but real care and love.
Mm.
And when we're on our own, like if we feel that we're on our own, to have that sense of love around us helps us to keep going.
Yes, it
Like we're
does.
not on our own, and we know that if we take the time to connect to whatever that feeling is,
Yeah.
that we will get the help we need. And I
Yes.
found that very useful for me. So yeah, and like other people are very much connected to other guides. They're not necessarily of this plane. And they're
Yeah.
people connect to guides like which they call from other kind of realms and systems, galaxies and systems. All that I feel is all possible, because I
Yes.
feel this unique sense of unification
Mm-hmm.
of this energy force that we all are. So everything is possible. The fact
Yeah.
that we are alive here in this world, which is a miracle.
Mm.
Of course, there's going to be other things going on outside of where we feel our reality is. It's like
Absolutely.
logic can
Yeah.
say we're, it's not just us.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
right.
anyway.
Yeah, I do too. I
So
do.
yeah, we have our guardian angels. Yeah.
Mm.
And we have the archangels, and the guardian angels are like who stay with us. I feel, well, what I
Yeah.
get the sense they stay with us through birth, and obviously help us when we pass over.
Yeah.
We also have a soul angel, which is a soul angel stays with the divine essence of our soul as we've incarnated through different lifetimes.
Okay. Yeah.
That came through to me once in an awakening uh, of that, like just that perception of it, and that then helps. That's almost like a protector of that divine force that comes through,
Yeah.
incarnates, and is a big main guardian angel. That is always there, but it's really just that connection to the divine spark of the source of the purest wisdom possible. They just
Yeah.
act as gateways.
Mm.
So it's easier for us, let's say, in this material plane, to consider that there's a guide that then can help us, give us messages, but we can go straight to the divine
Yeah.
ourselves and get the
Yeah.
messages. And
Totally.
a lot of us are doing that now.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. And
Yeah.
so, for me, the angels, like, they were great. They're there, they help me, they guide me, but also they have encouraged me to connect to not just them,
Yes.
like go straight to the source
Yeah.
and tune in, and they can then confirm if you're right or not,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
sometimes we doubt ourselves because of the ego, you know, am I making this up? Or, the self-doubt. And then they can confirm, and then they can also help you see signs in life to make sure that you do get the message that you
Yeah.
actually did get, so that you can believe it
Yes.
as
And there
well.
was a time a few years back now where spirit, our guides, everybody just sort of stepped back really,
Yeah,
and they really wanted us to start connecting more
yeah,
to self and to be more responsible, instead of asking like, oh, can you balance my chakras. It's like, well, do that yourself.
yeah.
They was trying to
Ab-
step back and allow us to take more responsibility. And that was I remember that, and it was difficult in the sense where you came back to that feeling of feeling like you're on your own again and
Yeah.
disconnected, and was like, but they were affirming for me that no, we're still here. You know, you've just got to come back to you more so. So yeah, and it was great. I appreciated that because it did make a huge difference for me. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 me too, actually. Yeah,
Mm,
that's happened to me. Like, I did feel a period where I didn't feel as close, but
yeah.
it didn't, what it did, it actually kind of forced me, you know, not force, because that's the wrong word,
Yes.
but it
Yeah. I
encouraged
get
me,
what you mean. Yeah.
because it felt like a force. It was like,
Yes.
you're being shifted along, but it was like an encouragement to go inward and really trust what this
Mm,
is you're feeling, which is just the same as what you're getting from them anyway,
yes.
but to really get it from yourself that's connected to that source, or whatever you want to call it, the godlike energy or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. That happened to me too.
Mm,
So that's why I was always like, you know, thinking, well, you know, what is, you know, I was thinking, you know, what is all this about, like, anyway, and like what the angels were here for me, you know, they helped me. But like looking at where we are now, I I really truly believe that, um, I mean, there's been mass awakening in different levels on Earth over the last few years. It's been
mm,
pretty intense for
yeah.
people. We are going to go through another massive one next year as more energy comes through to, um, bring more truth, of the light of truth,
Yeah.
which cannot be denied, because truth will
Hmm.
always find a way. And the angels really are here to bring that, to help people with that in that way, whether people know it or not, whether they've got angels or not, or whether they want to feel connected to them. They've got this purpose to help humanity awaken,
Yeah.
you know, awaken to their truth and their divinity. And it's a purpose, it's a serving purpose. And, you know, in the religious, there's lots of religious texts of what they've done and everything, you know, in the past to help. But I really feel like this energy, what they bring with it, which is that the peace, the harmonizing energy, the healing and the rebalancing,
Yeah.
that in itself is really to help us to really get to that inside ourselves,
Mm,
so that when we are balanced and we're in harmony and we're at peace with whatever's happening around us outside, we're bringing in that energy to help the earth and the
yes.
planet and all of us transform to the next level.
Yeah.
And because we're in chaotic times, it's like they're good reminders at times, you know, just to
Mm,
remind you, remember who you are. Often I get a message like, just remember who you are.
mm,
And
yeah.
like knowing who I am in my belief system of that divine spark, which I see in you and everybody around, I just see this light, and what is that? You know, that's here to bring love. And you know, it sounds
Yes.
like, oh yeah, pie in the sky
I
ideas,
know. Woo
but
woo.
actually it is, this is the truth.
It is the
And
truth. Yes.
it's like, well, why can't we be like that in our life?
Mm, mm,
Because we have all this shit going on inside of us, all the past wounds and all
we
this, and
do.
they did that
Yes.
to me, and
Yeah.
we've got to transcend that.
Yes. Absolutely.
We've got to transcend that. And that's, I think they help us to do that because they remind us who we are. You know,
Yeah.
I can choose the path of pain and feeling victimized, or I can choose the path of peace and empowerment. And
Absolutely.
that's what I
Yeah.
think right now, like I just felt like they're really bringing in a lot of energy for all of us, and it's manifesting in all sorts of ways for people in how they perceive it. You know, and that's
Definitely.
absolutely fine because everybody has different belief systems, everybody feels connected to different
Mm,
things. But for
yeah.
me, it's like this angelic energy, yeah, which
Yeah.
is God,
Yes, it
really.
is.
That's all they are, really. They
Yeah,
are like we are, but
it is.
they might know it more in a
Mm,
way, you know.
yeah. Do you have a stronger connection with one or two in particular, or is it like a collective that you know type of thing?
Well, I work really closely with the archangel realm,
Yeah.
specific archangels, um, because of the kind of the virtuous qualities that they embody and what I
Mm-hmm.
feel from them, um, was very easy to understand at the level where I was at, if you know what
Yeah.
I mean, because I was a
Mm-hmm.
human being. Well, I'm spiritual energy having a human experience, but I'm a human
Yes.
being, and I have a personality,
Yeah.
and I have an ego, and that ego likes to play itself out in certain ways.
Mm.
And and I've watched myself all my life playing itself out. And so, like, the archangels for me were like, they were like pointers and guidelines of, okay, there's this virtuous frequency in them that helps to transform the lower frequencies that we have to go through at times. Or,
Yeah.
like it says, it reminds us about things. It reminds us how to be. And
Mm.
so, like, for art, like if we talk about Archangel Michael, he's been pivotal in that part of my journey because of the 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 energy of courage
Yeah.
to own who I am in a way, like embrace who I feel I am, be
Yes.
courageous to step onto something was not mainstream at the time when I was doing it, and it still really isn't, but like even years ago, like it was really not, to have
Yeah.
the courage to do that and the conviction to sort of stick with it as well. So there
Mm-hmm.
was a lot of energy that he brought in to give me courage and also help me really sort of feel into what I'm here for as well, this purpose of what, why am I born at this time, and what am I here to bring. And I
Yes.
think I always knew as a kid that I was here to help in some way, but I didn't know how.
Yeah. Yeah.
But all
That's
my
often how it
roles are
is, eh?
always helping everybody, it was always
Yes.
a service, like jobs were always service based.
Yeah.
They always had something where they help somebody else, and so it
Mm.
felt like that. And so like that Archangel Michael, I mean, and it's considered a male energy because of the dualistic energy of this world, because
Yeah.
angels are like, the archangels are like, have been earthbound to this reality to help us. They are not earthbound, but they have chosen to be earthbound here. So it's easy for us to recognize those qualities because they shine the qualities we can understand, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Michael, courage, power. So we can understand that. We can understand that at this level of third dimensional reality. And so each archangel has specific qualities. Like Raphael is the healer. He brings in this really balancing healing energy that
Yeah.
lots of people channel for healings. He also helps people to connect with each other, soulmate connections. But there's this real balance and energy. He's very connected to earth to help bring balance to nature and life. So it's wanting to bring balance and wanting, it's at the center of the heart is where we find that peace, to be peaceful and calm, and just be able to feel okay with things in ourselves,
Yeah.
be at peace with who we are, which is the journey
Mm.
most of us are on, because a lot of
Yes.
us are in conflict.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been, I say that from example,
Mm.
inner conflict. So the archangels have been very pivotal, and there's a number of them that like I tend to just like whoever comes in, but I tend to know about 15 of them, like main ones. Um, and they kind of all have interesting qualities that I feel like they may just remind me about at the times when I need it, whether it be for readings, for people, for me, or whatever.
Yeah.
But they are just divine beings of light that just kind of act as messengers.
Mm.
And what I really learned, which was really interesting, was that we don't ask the angels for help. We ask God
Yeah.
or the universal source to help, and whatever angels that is want to come in from that question will come in. So you don't have to ask the angels for a particular help. You just go straight to source, ask for help, and if angels are meant to be sent, they will.
Yeah.
That was interesting as well for me.
Ah,
um
that is. Yeah.
I because like when I first connected and I was asking them, I would go straight to Archangel Michael, can you help me with this? But then I got told, no, actually, you don't need to go to a specific angel, just ask God, and you'll get what you need. Because
Right.
sometimes you might need a mix of things coming in to
Yeah.
help you.
Yeah. And
So you don't,
Uriel?
so
Yeah.
sorry.
Uriel or Uriel, Archangel?
Yes.
Yes.
So
So,
yeah,
yes, Uriel, is it?
Uriel, the light. It's like the light of God that
Yes.
emanates the light. Yeah, and it's like a beautiful bright light energy of
Yeah.
this, almost like the sun in Uriel. I
Yeah.
feel that energy.
Mm. Years
Yeah.
and years ago,
Um,
we were sitting on my porch, a friend and I, and she channeled in very clear from God, basically God creator, was always direct.
yeah,
And this day we were sitting there, many things happened. We had so many miracle things happen in the time that we were on this one property. And Uriel came in and we were basically levitating in our chairs. Like the energy was so strong and so
wow.
high vibration that it was like lifting our chair. Both of us were like, oh my God, my chair's in like there was just
Wow.
this
Yeah.
vibration and beautiful, beautiful energy. And then this gorgeous message, which I've got written somewhere in amongst all my channelings. But yeah, gorgeous energy. But I was going to say that angel energy is very fluffy, eh? It can be very, very fluffy, like marshmallowy type of energy. But I then have also felt them very strong, like direct. And when there's any sort of heavy energy that needs to be dealt with at all, it's like that energy comes in, it's very high and very strong, like
Yeah.
real, kick
Force.
ass type of stuff.
It's like a
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
it can feel like it's fluffy and light and you know, because
Mm,
it's that love felt sort of kind of innocent, and it's hard to
yeah,
describe it. But yes, there is this force, and that's what I've learned as well, like the power that is actually held within the angels is a
yeah,
force to be reckoned with. And
yes,
it's
for
like
sure.
when needed, it will come in and help transform, or help
Mm,
energy.
yeah.
I had a really amazing connection to Archangel Raziel on after my wedding. I got married up at Spirit Bay on the 21st
Okay.
of December 2012, the day the world was supposed to end and all that kind
Wow,
of,
yes.
we never knew it was going to
All the
end.
hype. Yeah.
And yeah, I got married up there, and that was just a series of events that kind of occurred really rapidly leading up to that. And I had a really interesting experience with Archangel Raziel, who I didn't really know much about. Um, but he was like bringing in this insight of the light rays and information that he wanted to help me understand more. And it was about the energy of light and the soul of people.
Right. Yeah.
And I kind of went on a little bit of a journey. It happened on my wedding night. It was weird that I had this weird connection, but then after that, I was kind of like, I just get taken away. Like after the wedding, to come home, I just get taken away and just needed to be on my own, and I just have
Yeah.
all this information wanting to come through,
Yeah.
because he's got like a rainbow aura, and this energy is he's basically connected to the Akashic kind of records of souls
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So really opened me out to the kind of Akashic side of life and all the
Yeah.
records of all our incarnations and the
Mm,
information, the wisdom that we um, have learned as we
yes.
incarnate, and what we forget as well. We
Yeah.
forget a lot of it as we relive a new life. But he opened me out to a lot of that, and he really tuned me into the rays of light and the information from light. And that was really important for my journey then, because I really helped to understand me and what my journey was and what my purpose was, you know,
Yeah.
as well. And I started to do these like light readings, and I'd call them the Rainbow Light Soul Reports, and I'd feel into people's energy, pick up the rays and get information of those rays,
Right. Yeah,
and
yeah.
then give them the information. But I'd also be able to see some of the shadow aspects,
Yes.
where things that they are here to transcend for a particular lifetime. So it was all
Mhm.
very like really woo woo, but it
Yeah.
was all very, it all made sense, and it was all very
Yes.
grounded when I finally put it all together. It took me
Yeah.
about, I don't know, 6 7 months to kind of integrate all of it and figure out where I was going with it. And then I
Yeah.
started doing these little mini readings for people and reading into their
Beautiful.
soul and the energy of their soul, and like what that purpose was and where they're here. And I
Yeah.
got so many like what I would call at the time like earth angels reaching out to me, you know, light workers, like on the cusp of wanting to tune in, but was still filled with a lot of fear because it was going to create waves in their life, you
Yeah.
know, to
Yeah.
tune into. And it sometimes reached me, and I do this reading, and then it just give them the catalyst of what they need, and then boom, they go, and then they then go
Beautiful.
off and do these amazing things.
Yeah.
And that was like, that was just given to me, like I didn't ask for that.
That's
Like
great.
you've been given so many things,
Yes.
haven't
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you?
And
You
it
know, it
is,
just comes through, doesn't it?
it does. And it's so wonderful. But whenever I've had the angels come in, when I'm sitting with a client doing a reading of any sort, um, they've often connected with color. It's
Yeah,
been about color,
yeah,
and that these people are very much into and very colorful people, wear a lot of color and have a lot of color in their home, that sort of thing. And they're often going to be bringing through this art that's going to have a certain like emotion and feeling to them that people will connect with, that are angelic, like have an angelic
yeah,
vibration in the painting or the art.
yeah,
And it was all about the color rays and the colors that were
yeah,
coming in. Yes,
yeah.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, and then yeah, it is, and the colours awaken. And what I learned over the years of doing those kind of readings for
Mm,
people, um, you know, because obviously I was like a beginner at understanding it myself, like, and I'm kind of like guided. Yes, I need to share it, but you know, I was still learning, and you know, I still am, you know,
yeah.
about it all. But it was like there were certain points in life that a certain light frequency would suddenly awaken in a person's soul to kick
Mm,
them into gear, to get them onto what was really important for them. But
yes.
there was like, and it wouldn't kick in until a certain time. And
Yeah.
I didn't, I, you know, that really helped me understand, because I just felt such a late starter with so many things in life. But
Mm,
looking back, I needed to have all those experiences to
yeah.
actually make me ready for what was coming,
Mm,
so that I was
yeah.
still well grounded and well, you know, I wasn't going to get knocked off my feet and go really woo woo, because that would be too easy,
Yes. Yeah.
you know. And so, like, it was like, and I realized that when people were coming to me for these readings, that certain things wouldn't have manifested yet,
Yeah.
but it was coming for them. And I couldn't put a timeline on it because that was not up to me to see that. But I could see that maybe in a couple of years' time, something's going to happen and their life's going to go bing. And
Yeah.
I was just part of just giving them the information, but not giving them the when it was going to happen.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so it was like really about like trusting. It was just an interesting experience that I went through, trusting what was coming through, but knowing it wasn't in them yet, but
Yeah.
it was going to come out. And it was particularly in
Yes.
this ray that I saw in people, which was really part of the soul purpose, which is really about the transcendence of, let's say, aspects of who we are that we may have even brought in from previous lifetimes, which, you know, you
Mm,
can say it playing out karma, some people might call it that.
yeah.
But we also have these life experiences in this life that kind of also kind of bring a little bit of energy to sort of either hold us down and we choose to be held down, or we use it to transcend.
Yeah.
And it's the awakening process. It's like, I'm going to choose to transcend because
Mm.
I don't like being held down, and being held down, I'm suffering. And
Yeah.
it's that awakening from the suffering. And I think I can relate because of my journey of suffering, and the people that we know. And, you know, like, suffering is one of the most
It is.
profound experiences in life, to awaken
Yeah, it is.
ourselves. And it
Yeah.
seems to be prevalent. It's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that, you know, you learn it the hard way, don't you? Like, because
You
you go
do.
for it and you cling
Yeah.
to it, and you like, oh,
Yeah. It's such a familiar feeling to us all, isn't it? You know, and yeah, sometimes when we're good
yeah,
at something, you know, even if we're good at suffering,
yeah,
we'll keep doing it, won't we? Because we're
yeah.
good at it. Yeah. But yes, it's, and what sort of, like, have you had some, you know, miracles, type of miraculous stuff that's come through with the angels for yourself personally or for others?
Yeah,
Say, you know, like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, I have had some interesting sort of, say, interventions, I
mm,
call them, where, um, you know, there's been a point in life where life was at a risk and
yeah,
something kind of took over in a way. So that was really part of the very first connection with them here, actually.
mhm,
Remember, um, when I arrived to New Zealand, like I said, it was a whole new life. I thought I was going to come and teach yoga, but I had a whole heap of insecurities as well around all of that. And coming
mm.
into a new country, didn't have any friends, didn't have any family here.
It would have
Had
been
my
big.
partner at the time,
Yeah,
who is now my husband. It was
yeah,
massive, and I was going through a bit of a grieving process as well, because I was letting go of a lot of things I loved.
yeah,
But there was
for
a pull
sure.
to come here, and I didn't know what it was, and I just had to be curious to come. And it was a bit of like encouragement from my partner, who's now my husband, to do it,
Yeah.
get over my own fear about it all. But I managed. I got a job working in a holistic health practice. It felt very aligned to me at the time. But interesting enough, I got really sick when I was working there, like really sick, and that's what introduced me to the angel realm,
Oh,
because there was a lady there that was very beautiful, and she'd hire a room every now and then and come in and do massage and healing. And she basically, I went for a session with her at the time. I was kind of on burnout. I'd actually burnt out my adrenals, and the whole process of coming here and trying to start a new life. And physical symptoms
yeah,
were pretty massive. And I was working in this health practice, and I got sick when I worked there, which was interesting. But then it
yes.
kind of gave me a connection to this lady, who then introduced me to the angelic realm.
Yeah. All divinely planned, isn't it?
Yeah. However, what really nailed it was that I was, I mean, I was really quite sick, and I really was sick. I had this instance in where I was driving, and I was quite a nervous driver when I as well, because I hadn't driven a lot in London because I didn't need to, but I could drive, but I
Yeah.
wasn't, let's say, a real experienced driver. That was, if I'm honest, so I was
Mm,
a little bit nervous of driving.
yeah.
And so, but here it was like everybody drove everywhere, so I had to drive and get over there. And then I remember feeling really out of place and feeling really lost and not knowing where I'm going and stuff. And I had this instance once where I was in a bit of a panic. I was starting to get a really major headache, and I really wasn't feeling well. I was in this panic in all this traffic, and I did something really stupid. And I was like, just went to turn around to try and get out of where I was in the mess that I was in the traffic, to try and get out of that. And I kind of did something stupid, and I pulled out into oncoming traffic,
Oh,
which was let's say, that was at my time of being not really, I was all over the
you
place.
weren't present, no.
I was no, and I was
Oh,
panicking. There was something
yeah.
going on with me. I wasn't well, and it was at the time where I was working for this place, and I just got introduced to the angels thing. But I just felt this whole thing just take over, that then just kind of pushed me through the traffic and into an area where the car didn't get smashed up. And
Wow.
that was like, wow, what was that?
Yeah.
Because had I could have easily been smashed up.
Yeah.
You know, I was really like I was nervous driver. You know, there was, I shouldn't have been on the road really. You know, it was like that kind of. You
Yeah.
know, people would be moaning. You know, they'd be screaming at me. You know, what you stupid idiot. But I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I'm much better driver now, I must say.
Of course. Yeah. That's
um, and that nailed it because that was like, whew. And
yeah.
I had recently bought a pack of angel cards, the same cards that the lady had introduced me, and I pulled a card and it was a miracle. You just had a miracle.
Oh, wow.
So like because I thought, oh my God, that was a miracle, and I felt like something
Mm.
took over.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. That kind of nailed it, that kind of really connected me because
Yes, it
there
would
was
have.
still a level of skepticism leading up to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you almost it's healthy to have that, you know,
Yeah.
not blindly believe stuff. And
Yeah.
then it kind of just like things just started to happen for me that led me in the right directions to be in the right place at the right time when I felt something was important. And like I'd just be in this synchronized way of living where
Yeah.
things came in and I just get signs all the time and then hearing you know, hearing messages, but seeing stuff as well. Signs were being left, and so it really helped me to, I suppose, have that connection. And then other times, there's been lots of sort of that was a major one, but
Yeah.
there's been lots of times where I felt I've been saved. You know, like things have really, it's just really helped me. You
Yeah.
know, in times of difficulty. um, it's like a miracle occurs in a way.
Mm.
And then with like healing others and helping others, I did for quite a while teach people to connect to their angels before we all went into lockdown and COVID times. I was kind of on a journey of doing a lot of little workshops, not big ones, just little intimate things
Yeah.
to help people connect to their angels because I felt very passionate about that, that it was
Mm.
going to be helpful. And I knew I'd
Yes.
attract the right people, you
Yeah.
know, I just, because the angels help that, I just put it
Yes,
out and it'd be
absolutely.
full, you know, like I just didn't market it or anything. It was just everything was working. It used to work very magically. And through that period of connecting people to their angels and them obviously evolving beyond that as well, you know, like you know,
Mm-hmm.
you go on a path and maybe it's something else that they're meant to be more involved in, but they got the first sort of step
Yeah.
that helped them to really trust in their self and their intuition and help and really work with their intuition. That people report to me little miraculous things like, oh, you never guess what happened, you know, this that and
Yeah.
the angels are there and they helped me and
Oh,
like that. So
cool.
yeah, you
Yeah.
know, they
Yeah.
are amazing. And I always got told, like, if your time's not, if it isn't your time to go, and something does occur that could put you at risk, then they will intervene, and they
Yeah.
don't need. They will come in and intervene to help and try and sort of like help with this series of events
Yeah.
that may help you to have the right people to help you, or you know what's meant to be in this world kind of thing. You know, they
Mm.
don't kind of swoop in like you see them and all that. Some people might, but you know
Yeah.
they just help in that way.
Yeah.
uh, Set up certain things and bring in a certain energy that can help influence certain situations, so that you are not leaving at this point, you're not going to leave this plane,
Yeah.
it's not your time yet.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and yeah, but they're
And
good for they're good to help you connect to your truth and what's right for you. You know,
yeah.
the basic of all it is like what's right for you, which is like your highest divine essence, like your highest good, that then can bring in this beautiful energy to help you in your life and those around you.
Yeah. And did you like have you had any
You
contact or
know,
much
it could
contact
be
at
just
all
like
with
becoming stronger and setting yourself.
sorry, there was a lag.
Sorry.
Um and have you had or do you have contact also in connection, I'm sure you do, with Metatron?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
Metatron with um, really came through when I was doing the angel alchemy energy healing, which the angels
Mm-hmm.
brought back through for me.
Yeah.
I was completely guided and have been guided the whole way
Mm.
through that experience of bringing in the, because I never really considered myself as a healer type
Yes.
person, only because I was really uh, more like a teacher, really, anything, if anything. But it was like, no, this is it. It's like acting as a conduit for this energy.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
Metatron was very much part of that angel alchemy initiation that I felt I was
Yeah.
coming into, and that also initiated the energy. Helped to bring in the color rays, which I'd already learned and kind of delved into in regards to understanding the energy, how I perceived the soul, what was coming through for me to see that,
Yeah.
and what I picked up, but also helping. Metatron came in with more of the sort of frequency and energetic matrices.
Yes.
The sacred geometry type of patterns in the energy, and seeing that and seeing the codes and things like that. So that was like mind blowing.
Yeah.
And that was, again, it was all just over a period of time. It was just like things would come organically,
Yeah.
and then I would get confirmation, like something would happen and it would like confirmation. It was like the I'd get the final piece that would then really kind of nail it for me, because again,
Mm.
I always have a level of skepticism,
Yeah.
which is like, okay, so yeah, this is coming out, and I think that's healthy,
I do
and I
too.
think,
I think it is too. It's good. It's good to question. Yeah.
yeah, question it, like, okay, am I going on a woo one, or is this something that's actually happening?
Yes. Yeah.
So I would always be like that. And so therefore, yes, he came through with that, and with a couple of the other archangels that were really important for that kind of initiation of bringing that through,
Mm.
um, which then led me to connect to the frequency of angels that is not earthbound. So the archangels are earthbound in the fact that they are linked to us, and it's easier for us to connect to our earth angels and guardian angels. But then there's a seraphim angels, which is like a almost like a higher frequency, which are not earthbound, so they're not as easy to
Okay. Yeah.
connect
Yeah.
with,
Yeah.
because they're kind of out in the other kind of, it's the only way a higher frequency,
Yeah.
like, so like we have to raise our frequency up to connect to them, or they have to lower theirs. But I got led into that connection this year with them after a series of events.
Yeah.
And I would say they came through as came through as we seven as one Seraphia. And I thought, that's really bloody weird. What's that? And so I knew there was a hierarchy of angels, because I looked into it, and I'd
Yeah.
Seraphia. So I thought, okay, Seraphia, pure light, pure, really, really high frequency, and are like fiery beings in a way. It's fire, but I always saw the archangels as fire as well, like fiery energy.
Yes.
But the seraphim, they're like, they are really here, like they are bringing in a massive amount of energy for our planet, for this transformational process,
Yeah.
burning away the old, in a way. It's like,
Mm.
and I've been working with them, and they've been bringing this this higher frequency of energy that I didn't have before, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Like, maybe I needed to improve, which I was possibly, to
Yeah.
be able to bring it in.
Yeah.
And it's a really, really high frequency. I mean, people can talk about the energy of the fifth dimension. I don't know where it's coming from, but it just feels like pure divine energy. That's like, it's it's just brings, um, I I just feel like it's not me. It's not me. It's something that they're doing and
Yes.
bringing in to help light souls up from within, to help this awakening process.
Yeah.
But it is a real transformation energy, because we're going through a major transformation of
Yeah.
life on Earth, aren't we?
Yes.
So they've connected to me this year. So that was interesting. So I'm still in the process. I'm not going to say I've got an expert of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm learning what, as I go along with them, when they come in and what they bring in.
Yeah.
for me, and what comes through the sessions in the way, because it's not really words.
No.
It's not a communication. It's not like the language that I speak.
Yeah.
It's just a frequency. Like some people might, maybe it's the light language that other people are talking about that
Yeah.
comes out.
Yeah.
You're pretty tuned to light language, aren't you?
I
Yeah.
don't do light language.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
have it come through, but I never repeat it or say it or get
Yeah.
through with it. It's something that's never really, um, just never really been a thing for me. And I find even listening to people in their light language, some I can feel it, and others it's as if there's
Yeah.
just nothing happening at all for me.
Yeah.
It's
Same
not.
here. Yeah. So
Mm,
it's not, yeah, so it's like, but it's something I can't really describe, but it's just all I can do, because I think I'm a feeler.
yeah.
It's what I feel, and it feels, it just is absolute bliss. It's
Yeah.
just an
Mm, yeah.
amazing energy, but it just brings in this sort of frequency to really, it was kind of transformed, but it's a real beautiful divine love energy that
Mm,
opens hearts,
yeah.
and it opened my heart.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they are beautiful. I used to work a lot with the angels. I haven't sort of, you know, you're
Yeah.
going more direct now, eh? And it's
Yeah.
like those aspects are still there of us, but yeah, it's funny. But they are very purposeful. I know, those
Yeah.
who I know who have worked with the angels in a way like you are, there's just they just lead you through all this
Yeah.
beautiful stuff and bring in some really gorgeous stuff for them to share.
Yeah.
There's one lady here doing angelic healing, and the energy of that was just beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
on the table, you just wanted to soak it up forever. It was just
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is it. That is that feeling.
Mm,
Um, yeah. And and you're right, because we're all evolving, and we all will connect to what's right for us and what
yeah.
we are aligned to. And I think with what's going to go on further for next year, and this is the guidance that they're bringing into me for me, like, as it's going to be another awakening next year of people,
Yeah.
and there's going to be a real reach out, to the likes of us and others like us, that have kind of possibly shown ourselves that
Yes.
are not, we don't buy into everything that we're told in life, and we are more into living a life of freedom and
Mm,
personal choice, and also coming through a place of heart-centered consciousness, because
absolutely.
that's what we are emanating, it's
Yes.
love.
Yes.
And so there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be shifting next year, that are going to be looking for the guides on earth,
Yeah.
like people,
Mm-hmm.
but they will also feel comfort if they connected to their angels, if they've never done anything like that before,
Yeah.
because they can help them get on to where they're meant to go as well, whether it's they stay with them or whatever, and I kind of feel like I've always been a bit of a person that brings them into the life, that then initiates something to go off,
Yes.
whether they stick, but for me, they're with me.
Yeah.
But like I say, I'm going straight to the divine as well, and they back me up with certain things.
Mm,
Um, and I think, like, next year, like, it's just going to be so important for us to stand our ground
yeah.
and standing our power. And if we need to call upon the angelic realm to give
Mm,
us the power we need, because we may be faced with quite a few challenges,
yeah.
and that we can channel that divine power to, the eminence of, whether you feel connected to the archangel realm because it's easier, or
Yeah.
whether you feel connected to the seraphim or other, to get that, like, what do I need right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be speaking my truth now, so I'm going to actually need courage to do that.
Mm,
And so it's like
yes.
bringing in, using them in that way, like, and
Yeah.
so I feel like there's that message that I feel I'm going to be bringing in for people to use that, because more people are going to wake up, and
Yeah.
it's going to be a bit of a shock,
Mm,
but it won't be, there will be no denying it.
Yes.
And in the meantime, there's going to be a series of events that, like, you know, we're in this unknown momentum with things that is, you know, trying to influence the world and the way it works and how humanity is living. There is going to be a series of events that is actually going to be very, very challenging, and that will wake people up, because it's going to bring in, because it's going to come from a place of suffering. So
Yes.
you need, so having the angel realm as a first point of contact, I think is easy for people, because they're already, let's say, conditioned to the archetype energy of angels. So a lot of people just consider angels good, you know, like, you know, obviously it's written that there's fallen angels as well, of course. And if we're in duality, then of course that is. But you know, there's people register with that, rather than maybe going to, I don't know, a fifth intergalactic being that channels information. Some people might not be ready for that yet. You've got to have these stages, you know. So it's like stages. And it all makes sense to me, like, you know, like there's the stages, and whatever we are, whatever it is we're at, we bring in that stage people to help them, and that's where I feel I'm at with it.
Yeah, and I think people trust angel, don't they? Like, just straight off, people know that if it's an angel, then it's a good thing. So I think that'll definitely, people will connect more. Are you thinking, like, do you run the workshops or the classes now for connecting to angels, like,
well,
people and assist them still?
I can do that. I think this, because of the year I've had, I haven't done it. I haven't done any training any workshop. It was due to the life situations where I was at. It was just not going to work. Just wasn't happening. So I do think for next year that I will be out there more with that. I mean, I've still been working, of course, you know, doing my work, but yeah, there will be more out there next year as I move through, because I think it's been a massive year for me in so many levels. Like, it's been massive for everybody, but it's been a bit incapacitating at times, where I haven't been able to plan things and put date on things, because it was so, I don't know if it's going to work or not. And I just got told, just pull back, let it go. You just focus on what you need to focus on, do your own thing, heal some stuff yourself. Just seen 11:11 on the clock as well, which is a good sign. You know, work on yourself a bit, which I did. I took some time out because there was some stuff which connected me to you, which was very needed. It was also, again, amazing synchronicity and connection, and I just felt so, like, you know, wonderful that you know, we connected, you know, and what I did with you in your workshops and stuff, and it was absolutely a transformational and beautiful experience. I highly recommend anybody, if you're watching this, to go to your workshops. No, honestly, it was really, like, it was so needed when I needed it, Mandy. And I say that because, like, things happen to us when we need them. If we're open and we go, okay, I'm going to go and do that. You know, like, I'm doing it for me, and this was the call. I've got to do this for me. And then it really helped me go through some real tricky moments. And I feel like I've come out the other side a bit now. So yeah, hopefully next year we'll be doing some more.
That'd
I think
be
there's some
beautiful.
things in the pipeline.
And I do I hear people, you know, that there are some that are ready for that now, but by next year definitely they'll be open to coming into that, because they are looking more. There's so many waking up, and they're just starting at the beginning, really. That's right. Know, so I've seen that there's lots of parts of what I do too that I need to go back to the beginning again and go to the basics for people that are just starting to come into that place of awakening. But gorgeous stuff, Lamanda, and thank you so much for all that you're doing, because and again, this was why I was so prompted, and this intimate conversation started years ago in halls, you know, community halls and things. I'd gather people together and have somebody that we would chat to. But it was all about the pioneers, those who are holding the light for the planet and have been holding that ground for us for, you know, all these years. So thank you so much. And it's lovely. I'm so glad you came to New Zealand because
Yeah,
I
I'm
just
so
love that we connected and I love that connection. So yeah, I'm really, really thankful for you.
yeah. Well, likewise, my darling.
Mm,
Always. Yeah,
beautiful.
it's been lovely to speak to you again now.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
yeah, no, thank you for the opportunity. It's been wonderful.
Mm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So keep going, and no doubt, yeah, you'll be flooded next year with students coming in. So all the very, very best, and much love to you and your
Right, darling.
family, and take good
Thank you.
care.
And you too. And I'll speak to you again soon. Take care, darling.
Righty.
Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.